turning point how the sides cope with 12 each?
Yeah, it wasn't 12 each, it was at the fight really, I think. Jack Owen makes an error at the start of the first half and they swoop on it, and the game is what it is, and it's pretty close. It's a really close game. But I think they just handle their emotions a little bit better after the bit of a melee, and we just get emotionally involved and try and some kind of retribution in some way, and just getting off our line and give another penalty away, and then we just get caught down the ball, and a couple of smart plays from them, and they score, and then they score again, and it's like their tails are up. They've got the end in sight, and they're in front again. It's and their home ground, and so coping with all the things that they've had to cope with. The tough side to get when they're in front, and that's what we didn't want. And we came here with a real purpose about us in that first half. I think everybody could see was that they can't let them get too far away. We've seen them do that here, especially to a few sides, that their confidence and their quick starts have just given them a foothold and been hard to catch. And I thought we did everything right. We came in at 12-10. We'd had our opportunities. We rode their storm, so to speak, and survived in our own half for most of this first half, but had the ability to get some field position and score some points.
We came back well at the end, Dennis.
We can play, but it's really, we've been there ourselves when we've been in control of games. It's really easy to play when you're behind the scoreboard because there's nothing to lose. So things come off you. It's a great try, and it's a schoolyard try from Tom Gilmore. It's one of those kind of things that, as a coach, it looks fantastic, but it's not something you ask for. Tip and chase. But he comes out the other side. We score the try, and it gets us a little bit closer. And I think the scoreboard doesn't really affect how tough a game it was for both teams. But that's the nature of the beast at the moment of the game. It's the score points, and it can be 12, 18 points before you even know what's happened. I thought it was a good game. I'll sit here and think that we could have been close and maybe got something out of it. And I would like to think that we did enough to get a win at stages, but we're on the wrong side of the scoreboard, and we just didn't handle certain things very well. I'm really proud of them. They've come here, and there's a lot of young players in our side. Tom's not played for a good month and a half, and so Grant Gott's not played, and we've got nowhere to play them. So they've not had any game time. They've come in here cold again after 6 to 8 weeks injured with no game time. So they've done pretty well there. So it's a tough place to come.
Flynn did a good job on Carney, do you think?
He did a fantastic job. I think that's what Carney expected to run over him and have more of a foothold in the game than he did. And I think that's what started the fight. If I'm honest, I think his frustrations in the fact the way Paddy had played so well against him, and Paddy had it just signed a new deal. Paddy, it was one of those kind of things. He's come out of it, and I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't expecting something from him today after giving him another 2 years, and he delivered. He came through very strong today, and defensively, like I say, I thought he was one of the form wingers in the league in Carney. I think Paddy handled him really well and was probably the better of the two today. So that's a good plus for him.
We've got a lot of players out today. Are you going to have any of those back next week?
I'm hoping having a couple of them back, but with the John Clark's, Phil Joseph's, a couple more weeks. Eamon's still a fair way off. Joe Mellor's still a fair way off. John Clark's still a few weeks away. So it's not looking good for people coming back next week. But I'm expecting some kind of response to a loss from us. I think that we like to live by a little bit of a mantra. It's not what happens to us, it's how we respond to what happens to us. So today we've been a bit disappointed, and hopefully we'll see a bit of a kickback on our home ground. Especially last time we was at home, we've served up some drivel.
Just over halfway through the season, how do you evaluate what's happened so far?
I think it's been okay. It's not, like I say, we're not as good as people think, and we're not as bad sometimes as people think. It's one of those. Yeah, we're probably where we wanted to be if you'd given it us a start of the year, but we've also lost 2-3 games that we felt that we should have actually done better with. We're a good group, they're strong, and we know that today we got rolled a little bit. The Castleford rollers around the middle. We survived, and But surviving's not good enough to win you big games and close games against sides that want to compete in the top half of the table. So we survived for a long period, but that fatigue element got us in the end. I think that's where Castleford looked to get over the top of us, because they'd rolled us quite easily in the first half. Like I said, we'd worked hard to survive, but when you're losing the ruck play after play, it becomes pretty tough to do that for 80 minutes.
You said they handled their emotions better than you in that second half. Do you think the guys who were out, the John Clarks and the Phil Josephs, if they'd have been out there, it could have sort of...
No, John might have helped us a little bit, yeah, but Phil might have helped us in the fight. But no, I don't. It was only for an instant as well. It wasn't for control their emotions. It was just straight. I think like Willie Ice says, you take all of Willie, and that's Willie, and you ask him to curb his emotions, and you won't get it. It's like you won't get Willie that you have to. So I think his response straight after and getting off the line and banging somebody that didn't have the ball, it's not over malicious. It's just Willie. It's emotional. And I want that from him. So I just didn't want it to be a penalty. To put us on the back foot again. So it's a good balancing act, and like I say, we got off the line, then we get a penalty away, and they came after us again, and we went after them again, and then they just went 2 quick passes to an edge, and we were looking to sharpen our swords around the ruck. I think that was a key point, and they scored the try, and then they got us on that edge again with a missed tackle from deep. And Dawn's he's quick, and he got the clear, he's hard to catch. And then we were just playing a bit of catch up. Castleford, that confidence that they've got came really to the fore. So it was only for a minute, it wasn't for the whole half. So like I said, we started poorly with the mistake from Jack Owens. And then we started to get going again, and I just thought we were getting back into our rhythm and looking for some field position, and the fight started. I also felt it was our penalty, by the way. But the referees decided differently.